Now, if you are watching this video, most likely you are looking for a high-paying elite sales job. But the problem you might have is that maybe you don't have enough sales experience. Maybe you don't have any sales experience at all. And some of you might already have some experience, but don't know how to really tell your story so that you can get the best possible job. So in this video, we're gonna be discussing some of the top sales interview questions that you're gonna get during your sales interview. I'm gonna show you exactly what to say, what to do, and how to say it in order to land your sales dream job. And by the way, if you are looking to learn everything you need to know when it comes to sales, how to get a sales job and master the skills of prospecting, lead generation, closing over the phone, make sure to check out my masterclass, saleslegacy.com. Link is also in the description to learn more about my masterclass. Now, the first question that we have for you here is that the potential employer might be asking, tell me about your past sales experience. Now, there are a number of different ways to answer this question, and it's going to be dependent on whether you have sales experience, or you have no sales experience, or maybe you're just a sales killer and you're looking for your next sales job. So the first one is, let's say you don't have any sales experience, right? So in this particular situation, you don't want to just flat out say,
I don't have any sales experience.
You want to just kind of connect some things that you've done in the past that are related to communication and sales, and then relate it to whatever it is that you're doing. For example, if you're just graduating from college, you could say, hey, I just graduated from college, and some of the experience I had where it was very similar to sales was being a leader of a club, internship where you had to deal with different customers. It can also be the front reception at a hotel if you work at a receptionist, right? You're still dealing with people in some capacity. So it's all about connecting previous experiences that are related to communication and persuasion and tying it back into whatever it is that you're trying to do or whatever job you're trying to get. Now, if you do have some sales experience, what you want to do is you want to highlight your characteristics and personality, right? If I were to sell myself in a job interview and I would want to talk about my previous sales experience, I would want to talk about how difficult certain aspects of the job were. For example, let's say when I was working at Oracle back in the day, one of the major challenges we had was prospecting into these large hospitals with like thousands of employees. And it's very hard to reach the VP of marketing, the VP of this, the director of that. And so you have to like navigate through this entire maze of getting to the right decision makers in order to convince them to buy your products and services. So if I was selling that experience, I would say, hey, back in the day, when I was doing the cold calling, I had to cold call consistently. I had to talk to these people. I have to pitch them like this. And so it kind of explained how difficult the sale actually was and how you overcame that, right? To be a good salesperson, it's really your ability to problem solve, your ability to communicate and be persuasive, and to really just handle any situation that is thrown at you. And even if you don't have sales experience, I would also highlight experiences like that in the past that you've been through and connecting it to, that job itself. So next question that you might have is that how do you actually build rapport with a customer? So the first thing you have to understand is, well, number one, rapport is determined by the first 5 seconds of when you meet somebody. Major factors of succeeding at building rapport is going to be your physical appearance and your tonality. When you go in an interview, you have to just kind of explain that and say like, hey, the first thing I would do is let them know I'm somebody that's credible and that I'm somebody that they actually like and want to work with. So for me personally, when I go into my sales meeting or when I cold call, I usually like to do a kind of energetic, positive, but cool tonality. The other advanced technique that you can use when it comes to building rapport is mirroring, right? You would say like, hey, I learned this technique called mirroring, and that is essentially when you mimic someone's body language, their tonality, and even the words that they say to make that person feel that you are just like them. And when that person feels like you are just like them, then they're going to treat you like a friend, right? Like an insider. You are one of them. And so they're going to tell you more information that they usually wouldn't tell a salesperson, and they can tell you a lot of things about themselves, right? So when you're building rapport, it's all about that instant connection. It's called instant rapport. That's the terminology for it in sales. And once you build that connection, it's just so much easier to sell. So whether you're cold calling, doing your first meeting, or you're getting a referral, you want to always build that instant rapport, and it starts with body language, tonality, and then the words in that order, and then it's going to be easy for you to sell. Now, when it comes to building this rapport, one thing people don't actually talk about is like, what should you actually wear? So I actually learned this technique way back in the day during my college days, and it's called the 1 notch up rule. So basically what you do is take a look at how the industry dresses normally. And so when you know that everybody wears this, the 1 notch rule is kind of like you just dress 1 notch higher than everybody else, right? For example, if everyone's wearing a button up a shirt like this, you could wear a button up with a sports blazer on top, right? Not too formal because it's a sports blazer. It's not like you're going to prom or anything, but it's just that one level higher. It just makes all the difference, right? Okay, so the next question that a potential employer might ask is, why did you choose a career in sales? So here's my answer that I gave when I used to be doing a bunch of interviews trying to get different jobs in sales. I was like, if you really think about it, every business in the entire world needs to generate sales in some form, right? Some people are doing marketing, advertising, B2B sales, but there's always some type of sales aspect to the game, right? Because if you can't sell anything, it doesn't matter how great your product and service is, no one's gonna buy it, right? If there's no one's gonna buy it, there's no revenue. If there's no revenue, you cannot pay for staff and continue to grow the business. So the reason why I personally got into sales, because I realized this at a very young age, and that was when I graduated from college. And I was like, okay, I don't know exactly what I want to do yet, but I know that I want to start my own business one day, right? If I learned how to sell, technically I can literally be a part of any organization, create value, and one day in the future I can start my own business because I would know how to get a product and service, whether I create it or partner with someone to create it, and then I would be the person responsible for selling it, right? For me, I personally think that sales is one of the most important and critical skills a human being can have, because not only can you generate revenue, but also you can apply these skills in your everyday life when it comes to dating, making friends, convincing people to do something, negotiating the rent on your apartment. It's really all sales, negotiations, and communication skills at the end of the day. And so for me, that's why I really put my best foot forward to learn these skills. If you're a salesperson, you can pretty much say the same thing, and it's a very impressive answer because not many people think of it like that. Now, the next question that we have is, why do you want to specifically work at our company? Now, here's the thing, guys. When you're getting a sales job, I understand that not every job you apply to is going to be the best job. Sometimes you want to work at Facebook and Google and they don't want to do an interview with you, and you have to settle for whatever other startups or whatever you have, right? And I totally understand that. Even with that said, you have to still be excited about the opportunity that you have at hand, right? If you're interviewing and you have to explain to them why you want to work at that specific company, usually I would start with what the industry is, right? If you love the industry, then that's part of the reason why you're going to join the company, right? Just the industry itself. You can also say like, hey, you guys are an up and coming startup or company, and I want to be part of that growth, and I want to contribute and learn and grow with you guys. That you can also talk about what you believe to be the company culture. So you could say like, hey, talking to everyone on your team, and I really feel like I would be a great fit. You guys seem like you're really cool. You guys are ambitious. I feel like I can contribute a lot, right? So the key here is not taking. It's not saying how much you can take from them, because that just makes it sound like you're greedy. What you want to do instead is reverse it and say, I really believe this is an environment where I can contribute a lot. Someone's a founder or they're the hiring manager. They're going to actually want people that put in the extra effort because they want to be a part of something, and that just makes the organization so much more greater. So if you go from that angle instead of taking, think about what you can give, you're just much more likely to get the job. Those are going to be some of my best tips when it comes to getting your sales dream job. If you want to learn more about how to get your sales dream job and learn how to sell, make sure to check out my masterclass, saleslegacy.com. You're going to learn everything you need to know about sales when you check out that page. And with that said, that's everything for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.